Hi, this is Ibuye here, and I figure I'm going to make this video, probably the last video of the league unless I make a new build. It's going to be a one-stop shop, for Spark related information. I do believe that there isn't really any good sources of Spark related information that helps you understand how the skill works and how the damage multipliers are calculated. I do know that if I look at, for example, Rutu's POBs, he tends to put a multiplier of 3, which is kind of an okay estimate, but the problem with that is that it leads to a bit of weird expectations here and there. So Spark has the ability to hit multiple times based off the duration. So first and foremost, duration is the thing that scales the damage, not speed, not projectile count. Speed and projectile count help you to hit that maximum potential more reliably, but the same thing can be said for arena size, same thing can be said for terrain. But the thing that's the most important is duration. So the same Spark can hit a maximum of once every 0.66 seconds. So think about it this way. I guess a server takes about 0.33 or something like that, and Spark can hit only once every 2 ticks. So that's every 0.66 seconds. So if you have a 4.7 duration Spark, which is the one I have, you can hit up to a maximum of I would say 7 times. I think depends on the pierce count as well. But yeah, you can hit a maximum of 7 times. And so essentially, the big question when people ask is, why do I need projectile speed? Projectile speed and projectile count are mainly to increase the frequency of hits such that you're able to hit your maximum potential, right? So the maximum potential is 7, right? So the maximum potential of your Spark hitting the same point here is 7 times. Speed and projectile count basically means that the single cast of Spark you make is more likely to hit that area every 0.66 seconds, right? And so if you have a larger arena, this is way less reliable, as you can see. If you have a smaller arena, this is way more reliable, right? So arena size also determines the effectiveness of your Spark. The other thing as well is your positioning. So I'll give an example. If I'm casting Spark like this, and the enemy is here, it's kind of stupid because, for one, I have to wait for it to bounce off the wall and randomly come back and hit the target. But if I do this, so if I'm standing here and I'm casting Spark here, the Spark pierces through, hits the wall, comes back and hits again, you're already guaranteeing like a minimum 2 hit count, right? So yeah. That being said, yeah, I think with this you should be able to understand this much better. So why does speed and projectile count matter? So projectile count, you can only, let's say for example, this is one cast of Spark. The 0.66 second is still applicable to every single projectile. So if the same if different projectiles hit, you can't shotgun, for example. Every projectile within the same cast of Spark can only hit within that limit, every 0.66 seconds. So what projectile count does is increase the frequency your Spark hits a specific point in the arena, and that's pretty much it. And projectile speed does the exact same thing. With higher projectile speed, the more likely the Spark is going to fly around, bounce off the terrain, and come back to the same point, right? So essentially, that's the whole point I'm trying to make. Projectile speed and projectile count are there to ensure higher frequencies, there to make your hits more reliable, but the maximum potential damage you can achieve off your Spark is actually just based off your duration of Spark. Hope that helps. Alright, and let's just cover now in this current league why Spark has been extremely popular, especially with Poison, especially on Poison Pathfinder, is because on the right side of the tree, you're going to have a lot of excess dexterity, and the excess dexterity can be transformed into projectile speed from the new tattoos, from the speed tattoos. And then you might have also excess intelligence, which can be transformed into skill effect duration. So that allows you to scale the damage of Spark, not only in terms of the total amount of damage based off duration, but also how reliable it is based off the amount of projectiles, the speed of the projectiles. Does projectile count matter here? No, not so much, because the investment is to get extra projectile count is too much, and also projectile count only increases reliability, right? Which is the same as projectile speed, so you don't need to go for projectile count increases. If you can get cheap increases to projectile count, for example, on the helm itself, so that's the enchant, or on the divergent version of Spark, which is here. Yeah, so 13 projectiles here with ashes. Then yeah, if you can do that cheaply, sure, go for it. But you don't really need to like get projectiles off the tree itself with the expensive Ramako Makaganga what's it called? Tattoos. Also, I think every spark, so if you cast spark and hits a target, you expend a pierce. So if you hit the boss, it expends a pierce. So for you to hit the maximum count of 7, you have to ensure that you have like enough pierce to do so. In this case here, I have, what was it, 3 pierces, 4 pierces, 5, 6 pierces. I can get 7 pierces by getting elevation on the gloves to a higher level, but I haven't done that yet. And also 7 pierces are extremely unreliable to begin with. I would think that some pierces are assuming like a very small arena like this, but I would assume that it's more likely the case that you hit at most 4 or 5 pierces. So I think as long as you have 4 or 5 pierces, you should be fine. So yeah, there is no point scaling frequency, which is projectile speed, projectile count, if you don't have enough pierces to support it. And also there's no point scaling duration if you don't have the speed, projectile count, and the pierces to hit the maximum potential. So yeah, just letting you know. That being said, what do you think? What I think is the ideal breakpoint for Spark? The answer is I don't have an answer to that because it's heavily dependent on the scenario in which you're talking about. If you're talking about a very small space, you're going to be more like reliably hitting your max potential. Max duration matters a lot more. If you're talking about large open arenas, scaling Spark like that isn't going to give you much of an improvement. That being said, that's pretty much all there is to it. If I were to make another build this league, I would definitely want to try something that scales projectile count. But I think it's all well known as it is. You know, everyone's going for tornado shot. But I do feel like there is mechanics that are like slept on right now. Like for example, Molten Strike. I think Molten Strike is like really, really strong because you can scale projectile count for cheap, and like you get like straight up multipliers for Molten Strike. So I might want to try like going Molten Strike, scaling Makanga tattoos, and getting like 5 extra, 6 extra, 7 extra projectiles on the tree itself. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. If this helps you, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've achieved my objective. All right, peace. I'm out. Bye.